This series is about that time I got a $1 million classic car collection stolen from me. Yeah, I know it sounds like clickbait, but it's not. So stay tuned if you want to hear how I got through this little hiccup in my life after my husband passed away. So let's get into it. When my husband first passed away, when I tell you I had 25 things to do, and alongside with doing that, I had to just deal with a lot, you know? And so being worried about our classic car collection, it was the last thing on my mind. My husband spent years building these beautiful cars. I would be in bed and he would just say, "Hey, babe, order this." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're spending all this money on these parts." And he's like, "It's okay. This is our savings account." And I'm like, "Okay." But if any of you know him, or if any of you are watching, you've seen his cars are one for the books. Like, there is no car that is like his. And a lot of the dealerships and a lot of places started, I feel, I could be wrong, copying his cars. Like, his car used to be in Vibe magazine. They used to be, T.I. rented his car for a magazine cover before. Mariah Carey used to come in town and rent his car for $2,500 a day. And it would have a driver. But because the way he did cars was so bomb and so classy, that everyone would just love his cars. People will copy his cars. He's customized Range Rovers. Any car you could think of, and if it was one of the freshest cars on the street, chances are it might have been Billy's. Music videos, people used to rent his cars out for the day all the time. And he had these cars and he babied them and he barely drove them. They would sit in the garage because they were kind of like investments to him. I don't know if people know this, and I don't know if you could say that now. Maybe some car connoisseurs can let me know. But mostly every car that I had that I end up selling, I end up getting some money. The cars that I did have that I had to sell, because like I said, I don't know if I told you, but when my husband passed away, it was a lot of money that I had to come up with a lot of money. So therefore I had to sell things, and some of the things I sold were cars. And some of the cars, a lot of the cars that he had did hold their value. I'm not saying that they were probably over in value. The ones that got stolen from me definitely went up in value. But I need to backtrack. They were classic cars. They were motorcycles. They were lowriders. They were just all types of cars that he loved and he collected. And they were in a warehouse and they were stored there with someone that was close to him. And I didn't go there a lot, but I knew about them and I saw them, and he would bring them home and he would drive them. And if I have some video footage, I'll insert it in the video right here for you guys just to see how he took so much pride in enjoying those cars, and someone stole them from me. And the crazy part about it is, I probably would have sold one or two because I really had to come up with a lot of money. So it would have been easier to probably grab one of those cars and just sell them really quick for the amount of money I had to come up with. But I was not granted that option when it was time. I had to do his funeral, his business, and when I went to go talk about the cars or speak about them, to go pick them up, I found out that all the pink slips were traded over into someone else's name the day he got buried in the ground. So they waited for the dirt to go over his casket for them to finalize and take it. I felt it was some trickery going on anyway, because the person that I called the day that he passed away, when I found him, because I found him, he had a heart attack and no one else was looking for him but me. He comes home every night. So I was looking for my husband, and that's how I found him. And I called someone to go with me because I just wanted someone to go with me. I felt like something happened. I just was a little worried and I wanted someone to go with me. And I called this person and I trusted them. And I called my stepdaughter and my little brother who went with me. And when I found him, from the day I found him, immediately the wolves came out. And it's okay. I'm fine, you know. In that day I saw it and I knew it, but it was nothing I can do. And that was the first time like I ever realized the day I found him. Because if you, like, how can you steal from someone that's dead? Like, it's different, okay, if you steal later on, but then to just steal like in front and off of a dead man, like, that happened, guys. And it was scary because if someone could do that, they could do anything. And I was kind of scared. I was honestly kind of scared of this person, but God protects me and I'm not worried about that anymore. But I just wanted to tell you guys, really to highlight the story of my husband's love that he had for cars, how we always had the most amazing cars, how he made sure I had the flyest cars. If y'all know me, y'all always know I had the flyest cars. I always had a Range Rover. If I wasn't driving my Range Rover, I was driving one of his cars. He had a Hellcat. He just had the flyest cars ever. And I would have wanted to give one of those cars to like everyone in the family. Not everyone, but like my stepdaughter, Amaya, Layla, for sure. Like I already had in my head when he passed away. Don't ask me why that popped up, but it did. I'm like, when I get to them, like I'm giving them a car. Like it just like made me smile because I'm like, I'm giving them something of their dad's for them to have like a nest egg, a savings account, like something, because their dad's not here anymore. So I just wanted them to have something, and that's the first thing I thought that I can give to them. And it was special because he created it, and I also thought if they sat on it for a little while and sold it later on, even if they didn't sell it right away, they would always have some money. So that was how I was thinking about the cars. But when I got around to them and when I tried to go get the cars, it was another story. And I basically got punked the cars. I got played for the cars, and that was the first time, actually the second, because the first time, like I said, the person was stealing the day he died. I was more scared. But this person, I really wasn't scared of him. I just know like, oh, you're gonna punk me because I'm a woman and he's not here, and that's what we're doing. This is how this is about to go. Bet. Okay, I have other things I need to do. I got to keep it pushing. And so I know that seems like that was really easy, but it really wasn't. I had to keep telling myself, focus on what's important. I had to keep, there was nights I cried because I'm like, wow, like no one would be doing this to me if he was here. Like, damn, babe, like this person for sure I know he trusted. And the crazy part about it is I would have probably given him probably half of the stuff. Because we have talked about if something happened to him, like, this is what he will want to do, and this is this, and make sure I look out for that person. And I used to tell him, like, why are you talking about that? But I just remember everything. And even if we didn't talk about it, the type of person I am is I like to share. And I'm not a greedy person. So I just would have wanted everyone to have like something sentimental, and it would have been really cool for them to have like a part of their dad's legacy, which is his cars, which were amazing. So remember, I don't know if you guys remember, backtrack. We were building my kitchen, my dream kitchen. I still love it. I'm enjoying it. He was building a business. This was his second business, and I can tell like this was gonna be his thing. Like this business, if he was still here, that he would have been on business number like 8 or 9, because he literally thrived in this particular thing. And so that's why when he passed away, basically we were gonna start construction that Monday, and they gave me 2 extra weeks because I told them he died. But I'm just saying, we were starting construction the Monday. So when he passed away, I was like, oh my gosh, Lord, I know that I have to make his dream come true. I know I have to finish what he started. And so that was the biggest, you guys, it was a huge project. I'm not talking about something like little, like this was a huge project. And eventually, when I get more comfortable with you guys, I'm going to share that too, because a lot of people ask me about that line of work and that business. And I'm going to share the ups and downs about having that type of business and how it is to get that kind of business. It's not for me. So I sold one, and I'm going to sell the other one soon. That's my goal, because it's not for me. And that's another thing that I want to teach you guys in this podcast too. For a minute, I started to feel like I was a failure because I was selling one of his businesses. But I had to come to realization that if it's not me and it's not serving me or making me feel how I'm supposed to feel inside, and it's not giving me purpose, it's okay to let it go. Like, I did it, and I did everything I said I was going to do, and sometimes it's just time to move on. And that comes with trusting yourself and really like being alone and like not letting the outside voices come in and distract you. And that's why I took a break from Instagram too, because I felt it was distracting me. I felt like sometimes like my life was like not good enough anymore, because like, well, I don't have this family and people are with their families, and I was just like, you know what, that's not true. This is all a distraction. Let me figure out what to do, let me figure out what to do with my life now and focus on the things that's important, and then maybe I can go back and figure that out. But right now this is not making me feel good, so why would I sit there and just like spend all my free time doing that when I can read and try to do things to better my craft and do things to better myself and spend time with my daughter and just focus on the things that really matter. And that's why I haven't been on Instagram for 2 years. And when I get back, I'm probably, and this is just for me, and you have to do what works for you, I'm probably going to unfollow everyone and then just do it to where I'm putting out like reels, because I want to put out content honestly to help people. It's better to hide. It actually felt better when I hid, but something inside me wants to share things to help people, because I know I helped a lot of you with major must-haves. You guys used to follow my blog and you guys like the fashion, but I got a lot of emails because people liked what I said. They liked what I wrote about. They related to the hardships and things that I overcame and I would speak about. And sometimes I'll be talking about someone else's situation, but however it is, I would write about life's choices and challenges and things that went on that I've seen and around me, and you guys related to that. And you guys, I connected with a lot of you guys with that. I got emails from you. A lot of younger girls followed me that were in college, that used to ask me for advice. It was a lot, and I really enjoyed it. I honestly really enjoyed answering you guys' emails and helping some of you guys. And that, I feel like, is my main goal why I'm starting Must Have Conversations podcast, because I feel like I do have a lot of stories and a lot to teach and a lot to kind of offer you and let you guys know that if you really just focus on yourself, like people act like it's a crime to focus on yourself. It's not a crime. You're not selfish because you're trying to figure out yourself and what's going on with you. It's nothing wrong with that. If you can't figure out you, how you gonna help somebody else? And I'm not talking about the world. I don't know. I'm not saying I can help the world, but I'm talking about the basics, like my daughters, anyone. I want to be able to help people around me in every way, financially, if they need me, anyway. I want to be able to be that. And not saying I want people to take advantage or, any of that, but I want to be, if someone needs me for something, I want to be able to give them great constructive advice. I don't want to tell them to be bitter. I don't want to tell them to say, F them. It's nothing to be mad about. There's absolutely nothing to be mad about. I'm actually very grateful now that some of the things happened the way it happened, because God, I see now in hindsight, protected me. He protected me from a lot. And if I would have still had those cars, honestly, I would have been moving differently. I would have been moving like I had a lot. And I feel like that would have made me cry and be sad, and maybe someone would have tried to do something to me. Maybe someone would have thought I had more than I had. I don't know. I have no idea. But it was so many things that were taken from me. I'm just talking about this one instance with the car. But it was so many things that were just snatched away from me and taken from me. And so many people took advantage of me. And it's like, I can't believe that people would do that to a widow, to someone that has kids. They're all girls. Like, it's like, how do you live with yourself? How do you sleep at night doing that to somebody? And I also want to talk about situations like this because it's a classic story. And a lot of times when a woman loses her spouse, people come in and take things from her. Like, what you shared wasn't special. And me and Billy been together for a long time. And the way people started to act, they started to act like I just met him. And even one person that was a really good friend of his, like, I put his picture in the obituary so much. And he went, and I know a lot of people, that's what people underestimate. Like, that's another thing, like, it's just funny for me to, sorry, I just heard myself. it's funny for me to just come out and talk, because people really thought that I was just this little damsel in distress wife, not knowing that sometimes the wife is the brains. You know, sometimes you're the rock. Sometimes you gotta support your husband. Sometimes you gotta let your husband borrow money. Sometimes you gotta give your husband advice. Sometimes people don't understand like what it takes to deal with a certain type of person. And they're so busy idolizing the person, but they're downing the person that's closest to them. And I'm not gonna say like some men are idiots and maybe marries women that's using them or whatever, but me and my husband were in love, and we loved each other, and we trusted each other. And I'm just happy that I went into the mode of, you know what, I'm not worried about this. I'm gonna focus on my family, spending time with them, keeping my promise to them, trying to get what I can get so I can still be able to give them a part of his legacy. Because to me, the main thing is I wanted to give them something from them. And I still have more to give, because I'm still getting more. I'm gonna always get more. And that's what people don't understand. That's another thing. Like, I'm not chasing money. I'm chasing purpose. I'm chasing things that mean something to me. And I'm also doing it with trying to keep his legacy alive and have the girls respect me and look up to me and be proud of me. Have me be proud of me. I want to be proud of myself. I want to look myself in the eyes and say, wow, I'm really proud of you. Like, you've been through so much and you just keep overcoming, and you don't care what people think. You do you. You're kind, you're giving, you're loving. Those are the things I say to myself. You're beautiful. You are amazing. You're one of a kind. I know that I have so much more to get from life, and I know God's going to bless me with so much more. And that's why I let things go. And that it became easier and easier as I saw it happening, because I'm like, okay, this is what it's about to be. Okay, cool, bet. Watch me still be okay. No, just watch it. I remember too, though, guys, for sure, I started to get a little scared, because I'm like, dang, the world just got a lot colder without Billy. Like, damn, they respected him, but they don't respect me. They do not respect me. And that's when I knew, like, it's okay to let things go, because I need to find my own way and find my own power to walk in and stand in. And whatever I want, I can get it back. Whatever I need, I can get it. So the goal was just not to be scared, and to trust, and to believe in myself, because there were some things that I really had to do that seemed impossible. Like, when I tell you some of the things that I had to come up with and do in such a short amount of time, they seem impossible. Like, even to myself, I think of it like, damn, how did I do that? How did I come up with that? But like I said in the last episode, I turned into like Billy mode. I just was like, I got this. I could do this. And I'm also going to tell you guys a story about how my stepdaughter, I'll never forget, like, she shared a story with me. And to this day, I keep that story with me, because it just makes me feel so good to know that someone else been through that and they kept it pushing. And then she encouraged me with that story and said, you're going to be just like her. And I'm going to dedicate probably like the beginning, because I'll probably go off into other topics, but I'm going to dedicate like a episode to that, because that is one of the things, like, when she told me that, it was like God kept giving me little pushes in different little ways of people saying and doing things to me to keep me going. Honestly, guys, another thing that really had me focused on what I need to be focused on was Layla. Oh my God. Layla is one of the most precious souls on the planet. And it was always me, her, and her dad. You know, the other kids, they were older. They spoke, but it was just, she was in the house with us. Layla was in the house with us. So it was different, and it was just sad. Like, just to see how our whole family dynamic changed from her father passing away. And I had to just watch her grieve him. And like, I got to the point sometimes I'd just be like, just checking on her, going in there, like, you okay, you okay, you okay, okay? And I remember a time she asked me, because I was just selling so much stuff, because I had to
come up with so much money for something. And you guys, it didn't go in vain. Like, it was an investment, and it turned out to be good, you know. And it turned out to be okay. And I'm still gonna be okay. I'm gonna do other things. I'm gonna do things that I'm passionate about, like talking and helping people. That's what I'm passionate about. And the money's gonna come anyway. So honestly, I'm not worried about money. But for sure, I did it because that was his dream and his goal, and I finished the goal and fulfilled it. But Layla, just to see her sad, like just her precious being so sad, and just, I don't know. It just made me like pour myself into her as much as I could. Like, when I did what I had to do during the day, I had to go meet with contractors and business people and come up with money. I'd come home and I'd be like, okay, baby, what do you want to eat? What's for dinner? What are we doing? Like, I tried to keep staying present in the moment of things instead of staying bitter and using my mind and my thoughts to say, I can't believe this person did that to me. I can't believe. Like, the biggest goal for me was to stay out of victim mode. Like, because I hated the way I felt. I didn't want pity, and I hated like the way I was like showing my daughter, like, oh, like I felt, it was just a sad thing to see. And I didn't want, and Layla, no, from a young age, she never wanted people to feel sorry for her. She barely told anyone what happened to her dad. Like, even when she went on to high school, she didn't tell anyone. It was like both of us. And one day we both sat down and we were like, I don't tell anyone really. And I don't tell anyone. I was like, yeah, because I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. And I didn't. I don't want you to feel sorry for me now. I'm not telling you these stories as a pity party. I'm telling you these stories as an inspiring story, a way to empower you, and a way to show you that do not be bitter. It's so many women and people that are bitter. It's so many people that just want to sit around and talk about people all day. I don't want to talk about anybody. I don't have time for that. Like, I'd rather read a book. I'd rather talk about something productive. I'd rather have a good meal. I'd rather cook. I'd rather listen to music. I'd rather listen to a podcast. It's so much to learn and so much to do and get in this world. Like, we have to stop getting consumed in other people's lives and trying to figure out what they have going on. And which I feel like, honestly, I'm so consumed in my own life. But let's just say I see someone and I'm impressed by them, and I'm like, well, I'm going to be inspired by that person. I'm going to make that give me fuel and drive me to say, oh, wow, that happened for her. That could happen for me too. There's a lot of things that I look at. Like, I go to this Pilates studio, and I love this studio. And I got blessed with someone. And I'm just telling you too as well, guys, if you notice, when you start to let things go, you're going to be blessed beyond belief. People will just come out the woodworks and bless you. There's so many blessings that came into my life. Layla's dad's friend paid for her entire 4-year education in one of the most prestigious schools in the world, Oaks Christian. And Layla's in college now, and she says that her high school was harder than college. Like, college is so easy, that it prepared her so much. It was like a college campus. It was like the most beautiful thing, like, ever. And just to pull up and drop her off and pick her up and see all these beautiful things and people, and a lot of wealthy people went to that school. Like, we would be at these houses that I would go to. I would just be like, wow. And not saying, honestly, I'm not saying that material things are all that is important. I'm just saying, like, to me, it made me realize, like, I've never seen anything like this. And if I would have seen it, I probably would have had it. Because there's nothing wrong with wanting more. It's nothing wrong, guys, with wanting to have more. But there's also nothing wrong with being content with what you have. As long as you're not comparing yourself to no one else or trying to be mad at someone for them having it. Be okay with people living the lives the way they want to live their lives. And if you want more, know you can create it and know you can go get it. That's like the most important thing of this whole journey to me. Like, even though like people did things to hurt me throughout the process, I just let it go, because I'm like, you actually just hurt him. You and him were closer than me, and you must not have had that much love for him if you're going to do something like that to me. If you're not going to look out for me, if you're not going to look out for my daughter. And people think when you have stuff that, oh, she has it, I don't need to look out for her, she's straight. Like, his friend didn't have to pay for Layla's 4 years of college. Of high school. He didn't have to pay for that. He could have been like, oh, she's over there, she looks like she's good, she got her this. No, he wanted to do that from his heart, because he wanted to show love through Layla, show Layla how much he loves her dad through doing something nice for her. And I'll never forget it. I'll never forget all the kind acts that people stepped up and did for me. Those are the things I'm going to continue to focus on. And that is why I'm bringing up the situation where someone is taking or took stuff from me, because it was sad and it hurt. And at that moment, I thought I really needed the money because I needed to sell one of them. And that was when I couldn't get access to the car. But it ended up all working out. It always works out. If you believe that it'll work out, that's how I feel about the situation. And I feel like everyone should try to make the best out of every situation. That's just the best advice I can give you. Like, find the best things to be grateful for. I don't know if you guys remember, some of you, my Major Must House followers, I had a book called The 5-Minute Journal, and I would say, you guys were getting this book. A lot of you guys got the book, and if you would see on my stories, I would write in it every day. And you'd write things that you're grateful for in the morning, and you'd write the highlights of your day in the evening. And I feel like I told myself I'm going to start back doing that, because I consciously do it now. I consciously look for things to be grateful for. I consciously make the best out of every situation. I consciously not take things personal when someone does anything, and I could. Because I'm like, oh no, I'm going to create the best case scenario out of every situation to my benefit. And since I've been doing that, things have been flowing better. And it's just, to me, it's like a mindset. And I have someone that's really close to me that I'm trying to help really, really change her mindset, because she's so stuck on things that happened to her in the past. And it's like, when you're stuck on things that happened in the past, first of all, no one wants to hear the same story over and over and over and over and over again, right? Especially if it's not said in an inspiring way. I probably told this story total in the past 5.5 years, maybe 6 times. Maybe this is my 7th. But I'm saying that to say that I'm not like, when I speak to someone like, oh, can you believe they did that to me? Oh my God. It's water under the bridge. I don't even care. Thank you. I don't care. You can have it. Good luck with your life. I moved on. And if I want something or if I need something, I'm going to get it regardless, no matter what. And I've never been more sure of it. Never. I think that's it. I think that's all I can talk about. There's nothing else for me to say. I'm not going to call this person's name. I'm not going to call them out. Some of you that watch this, if you know, you know. And my nephew told me, because I was telling him, I've been working on this podcast for a while, guys, and it was very scary because it's me being vulnerable and talking about some things. But I feel like if I could talk about some things that happened to me and it'll help you and inspire you, like that's a purpose. Like, that's a good reason to speak about something. And I was telling my nephew about it, and he was like, are you sure you wanted to bring up those cars? They might have a problem. And I'm like, we could talk about it. If he has a problem, we can talk about it. And if I feel like it, we can talk about it on the podcast. It's all on how I feel. I'm in control. But what I'm saying is not a lie. And I could talk about it when I want to talk about it, because it's my story. But just so you guys know, signed, sealed, delivered right here today, I do not care about that stuff. I'm telling you the story because, honestly, it would have been cool for you guys to see some of his cars and just to see his girls in some of the cars. I would have did a segment on that, because they were the coolest cars ever, and they were so important to him. He loved them. Just imagine someone stealing your husband's pride and joy, or your wife's pride and joy, just taking it all from you. And you have no say so. But y'all, the power of the mind. I got over it. I'm over it. And hopefully I inspire you guys to let go. Money, don't even worry about it. You're going to get it. Focus on the people that matter to you and building relationships with the people around you, because that's priceless. And when you have great relationships and great people around you, you can build more. You'll have more confidence to grow more. You'll always get money. God will bless you, because God cares about people first. And I'm happy that I decided to care about my family first. I'm happy I decided to be present and go outside and sit on the grass and just breathe and take an inhale and take an exhale and just be happy and grateful for the things that I did have.
It could have been worse. It could have been much worse. So stay tuned for the next episode of Must Have Conversation, guys, where shit gets realer.